Okay. 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 We're going to get started.
All right, before we get started, I need people who are not speaking to please mute your microphones or your phones. So on the phone, it is star followed by the number 6 in quick succession. On the computer, it is Alt A. On the app, the mute button should be on your lower left side of the screen. And on the Mac, it is Command Shift A, and I think I've gotten everybody or all of the platforms. Also, the phone number that is ending in now it's moved on me.
Is it when I do that?
The 407 area code. If you could please do a *6 and let us know who you are. Or 407. I'm sorry.
My name is Shirley.
Oh, of course.
Hello,
Okay.
Shirley.
All right. Let's see if I can.
Our Florida contingent.
For now.
Right. Well, the capital didn't quite make it, but well, anyway. There we go.
Okay. Are we ready, Sean?
Yes, I believe we are.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon. We are calling the March 9th, Columbus, Ohio, American Council of the Blind chapter meeting to order. I am the president, Janae Miller. I'd like to welcome everybody. Also, I'd like to let you know that this meeting is being recorded for production for our YouTube channel and for Facebook. So anything that you say on this meeting will be put out for public consumption. So please be mindful and aware that this meeting is being recorded. If you do not consent to it being recorded, you got to let us know, and unfortunately you can't stay. Anyways, so again, welcome everybody.
Let me also do the recording bit on the Zoom one more time. So when you came into the room on the computer or the phone, if the option that lets you know the meeting is being recorded was not presented immediately to you on the Zoom app, the quickest way to locate it is to find your mute button in the bottom left and then flick backwards several times to the left until you get to the OK button. On the PC, it may be necessary for you to press the F6 key a couple of times and locate the same prompt that says the meeting's being recorded, and by choosing OK, you consent to being recorded. If you do not do this, and this is why this is so important, if you do not take this action, you cannot unmute and you will not be heard. So it's vitally important that you locate this option and choose the OK. Otherwise, we will not be able to hear you. I will not be able to unmute you because you haven't provided that consent. So hopefully that will help.
Thank you, Sean. So first things first, are there any corrections or changes or
Roll call.
a roll call?
We need to do attendance.
I always forget that goes before the thing. I'm not ready to jump in. So roll call. So let's do roll call. Sorry, I forgot about that.
All right. Room first or Zoom first?
Zoom first, please.
All right. So currently in Zoom, we have myself, Larry and Nikki Hansen, Chuck Atkins, Mary Highland, Michelle Spillane, Kathy Withman, Mark Brodigam, Shirley, and presumably Lynn Roberts as well. And that is everyone that is in Zoom at this point.
Okay. Can we have now? Can we do the attendance for the room, please? Roll call.
Oh, hang on. Patrick Simmons will be in as soon as it admits him from the waiting room. So.
Okay, so we have Patrick Simmons. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Making his way.
Lee Tucker,
Janae Miller,
Edward Snively,
Marilyn Pifo. Ada Meyer.
Troy Sullivan,
Mary Carabinas. Gail Baldwin.
Erwin Hott, Mike Russell,
Julie Russell.
Dustin Grantstaff.
and that completes the room.
okay, thank you so
Two
much.
more things. Juanita Meyer was a teeny bit quiet, so I'm just for the recording, I'm repeating her name. And Patrick, we did get you. We did get that you are in the Zoom room as well.
Okay, so now that we have completed roll call, thank you so much. Thank you for reminding me. It's been a long week. So now that we've taken roll call, now I would like to find out from, has everybody had a chance to look at the meeting minutes from last month's meeting? Are there any questions, corrections, edit to last month's meeting notes? No questions or corrections or edits for last month's meetings notes or minutes, I should say.
I would like to see, because I don't know if the actual titles for the legislative imperatives were correctly recorded or, correctly transcribed. So if somebody could get those to Ed, that might be good if he wouldn't mind changing those, just because I think the way that they're presented at the moment is a little bit confusing, and so I'm wondering if we can get that clarified. I might be able to get them from Katie, or it's
I can also
possible there
provide
might
those,
be-
Sean.
Okay, cool. All right.
So if there's
Mark's
any, that's that the
Mark's
only,
hand is Mark's hand is raised.
okay, go ahead, Mark.
Mark, you'll need to do star and the number 6 to unmute yourself, which is separate from raising your hand.
Okay.
There you are.
Yeah, 'cause remember I brought that up, that their activities listed on the ACB meetings have been updated. Somebody take care of that from now, because it was like August as of last month there.
I had every intention of doing that this month and or doing that at the beginning of the month, and I forgot to do that. So I do have the steps on how to update the information line, and I just need to make sure that I have the proper information. So I will do my best to make sure that that happens by the 1st of April.
About the last now about, check on it, see how it was there. 'Cause somebody
Yeah.
take care of it like you or somebody else every month, just kind of put out what's going on.
Yes, I had intended to do it, and then things got away from me, and I wasn't able to do it. So I will do my best to get it out, if not by the 1st, a little bit before.
Okay.
And thank you for the reminder. I appreciate it.
So just so I'm clear, he was inquiring regarding. So I just want to make sure I'm clear. He's requiring regarding the information line, if I'm without hearing that correctly.
That is correct,
Okay.
and I had every intent of updating it just to make sure that that happened, and I have the information on how to do it, and I didn't feel very well last weekend, and so it didn't end up happening.
Okay. I didn't quite.
All right, if I can get it to work.
Okay, I was just asking because I didn't quite hear his question. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, I gotcha. And Denise Bauman is also here in Zoom.
Hello, Denise.
There she, yep, there you are, Denise.
Me- yeah, it'd be like new business kind of thing. So, okay. So any other questions or concerns regarding the meeting minutes from last month? No, if there's no other questions, I would like to have someone make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes. Oh, okay, hold on. Who made it first? So Mary Lynn Pipos. And then Gail seconded. Gail Baldwin, okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, the motion has passed. The meeting minutes are approved as
We
corrected.
do need to give Zoom a little bit more time for people to unmute themselves.
Okay, at this time, can we have the treasurer's report, please?
Hello, this is the treasurer's report for the Columbus chapter for March 8th, 2024, for the period February 10th through 2024 to March 8th, of course, 2024. Checking account ending balance is $20,779.80, an increase of $5,502.80. Deposits, a membership for 2025, believe it or not, for $15.19. Donations for the AED, which is alphabet soup that I don't remember what it means, but it's a defibrillator, for $500. And the Columbus Foundation Spring Grant arrived, which was $5,658.47. Expenses donated to WAS and the church for the AED, $500. The engagement benefit cash was drawn for $150. Huntington charge card payment was made for $4.25, and AT&T the $16.11 for the phone line. And an outstanding Zelle fee was charged of 50 cents. The charge card, the ending balance is $150, which is Sunshine Committee cards. And as mentioned before, a payment of $4.25 was made. People Helping People Fund, ending balance $2,519.36, a decrease of $240.24. Pennies in February were added to the fund of $7, and there was a grant for purchase of printers for $247.24. Savings, ending balance of $6,244.08, no change. At Columbus Foundation, the estimated market value as of 3/8/24 was $86,160.84. A loss of since December 31st of $6,113.45. And the spring grant from the Columbus Foundation, as mentioned above, was $5,658.47. Comparing this to last year, the total grant was $6,400.50. The payout year to date of the engagement benefit is $140. There are no notes to this financial statement.
I got her on. Any questions regarding the treasurer's report for Lee? Any concerns regarding the treasurer's report for Lee? Anybody in Zoom?
I do not see any raised hands,
Okay.
and no one.
Is there anything anything you want to add to your report, Lee, at all?
Perhaps later we can discuss donations, but not at this time.
Okay. All righty. I'd like to have someone who would like to make a motion to approve.
This is Sean. I so move.
Okay.
Gail Baldwin makes a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I could barely hear this. I was barely getting it out. Okay. And Gail Baldwin made a motion. And who's seconding it?
Who's second? Mary Carabina, second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The treasury report has been approved. Okay. All righty. Next thing on the list are community reports or committee reports. I'm saying committee reports. So is there any update for the sunshine report? No updates? Okay, thank you so much. Any updates for the People Helping People Committee?
Okay, Denise, you are here.
Anybody on the
You may
oh,
need to press F6 a couple of times and find the prompt about being recorded and choose OK.
Or I can make the report.
anybody from the committee can make the
I-
report, Sean. It's not
Okay,
just Denise.
I
Denise
can-
can make it, Lee can make it, you can make it, anybody can make it.
Yeah, I will do it. There is one grant that has been approved by the committee, but hasn't been run by you, the president, yet.
Okay.
So,
Okay, we have one outstanding application.
yep.
Okay, that's good to know. All right. Thank you so much for the reports. Appreciate it. Friendly reminder that we are looking to create a couple of additional committees so that we can keep our chapter active and growing and moving.
I'd like to complete the PHP report, please. Since I've now been able to unmute
There
after
you
the
are.
third try.
Third try's the charm, right?
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Denise.
There was one person making several inquiries for a cane, et cetera, but the phone number provided was non-existent. So that's my completion.
Okay, so request, but no way to reach the person. Okay.
The phone number did not work. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for adding that so much.
Sure.
Thank you all for the committee reports. Like I was saying, we're looking to have a couple additional committees. If you all could be, it being on a team, it's not intended for everybody to do everything. Everybody can contribute in some small way. So just keep that in mind again. So again, thank you for the committee reports. Now, if we could have a report from ACB Ohio.
Well, you're here.
Okay, I'm here.
Let me see.
Is that
I
Ms.
guess-
Hill?
Hello.
Hello.
Well, we got back Tuesday from the DC leadership / legislative conference and spent Tuesday on Capitol Hill, going to various legislators' offices and promoting our imperatives. And we had 4, but then originally, but they threw in a 5th one at the last minute, and that was the reauthorization of the Federal Aviation Administration legislation, and that is to make airports more accessible, to make flying with a guide dog easier, not so much paperwork, making planes more accessible. So we got up to speed on that and promoted that one too on Tuesday, and it was really cool. Good learning experience.
If I can add to the ACB Ohio report, a little more with the reauthorization act for FAA. It's not just the guide dogs. When they say make the planes accessible for example, people who may be in a wheelchair, having accessible facilities for them, giving more guidance around how to handle their wheelchair or scooter, because there's been so many instances of, like, for example, Katie shared a wonderful story that she had a roommate in college who has cerebral palsy, and she had traveling nightmares because she would travel and her wheelchair would get broken and lost and misplaced, mishandled. And, you know, for those who are in a disability community that may not be blind, they deserve to have accessibility when they travel, just like we deserve to have accessibility when we travel with a guide dog, and that the paperwork shouldn't be so much. So, and so Sean will make sure that you get the legislative imperative so that can be added to the minutes for, or, so we have a question? Yes.
Hey, I'd like to know what specifically was presented to make the plane more accessible for guide dogs, number one.
Well, it's more or less about the paperwork that has to be filled out.
That was my second question. Unless I go overseas, I never had to do any paperwork. What paperwork are you talking about?
Well, apparently, apparently, according to stories that Katie shared, there is a form that you have to fill out when you're flying, you know, going to your destination and coming back. And we're asking for basically a kind of like a permanent profile to be put with your, when you deal with TSA and even with the airline, so you don't always have to state that you have a guide dog and that he's trained and things like that. That's kind of what's in the authorization. We just heard about it on Monday. So
Well, that's what I wonder if that's something new, because
It's been in the past couple of years.
Decade with a guide dog, and I never had to fill out paperwork once. That's the country.
Madam President,
yes,
this is Mary Highland. That is a fairly recent, and it's much more than just filling out a form. You have to have proof that you have taken your dog to a vet, and it's very restrictive because it has to be very soon before you fly. And I don't remember what the hours are, but it's
like 48 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. It's very inconvenient.
well, that's the whole point of the act, is to kind of, you know, make it more convenient, not as challenging as it's been. That's the whole point. I'm just paraphrasing. Again, we heard about it on Monday at the conference, so it wasn't in the original 4 imperatives.
And I have a question. Could you refresh us on what the other 4 issues were?
Sure, be
addressed?
glad to. The first one, well, the first one in my brain that pops up is the Medical Device Accessibility Act. And this is the one essentially that we're asking for regulation and enforcement to be around with the FDA, that when you're dealing with class 2 and class 3 home medical devices such as CPAP machines, glucose monitors, blood pressure machines. If you are battling cancer and you have to have your cancer treatment machine at home, that those things now have a digital readout, but we're asking for those to be for all, not to go back and retrofit, but for those, for the new ones that the FDA does not give approval unless there's accessibility built in with audio output, so that someone who is blind at home can, you know, care for themselves and not have to ask for someone to come over and help them. So that's kind of that in a nutshell for that one. There's the Website Software Application Accessibility Act. This is the one where the Department of Justice has put out guidance here in the last year, I think in March or April 2023, kind of giving more guidance around how a website should be made accessible, along with the web content accessibility guidelines, which is 2.1 version, getting close to putting out, I guess, the 2.2 version if it isn't already out, but really kind of pushing and asking for enforcement for that, which is already in Title II, Title III of the ADA, and just really and making it more for not just the government agencies, city, state, and federal, but even all the private employers and businesses that have websites. And and kind of, explain to them that this is an asset, not just for the customer, but for the companies, because I'm sure that companies don't want to be sued because their website's not accessible. So that's that one. And then there's the Communication and Video Accessibility Act, and this is one that was originally established back in 2010. And we're basically asking for this to be, number one, updated to today's standards. Back when that first was passed, it was, kind of essentially for accessible programming when it comes to like audio description and closed captioning for over the air and traditional cable. Now, these days, we have moved, more away from traditional over the air and traditional cable into the streaming platform, and guidance and enforcement around that when it comes to audio description for us, closed captioning for the deaf, but also in that, when you look at from a safety standpoint, when, for example, we all were here when the tornado happened last Wednesday, not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before that. And, usually when that happens, if you happen to be looking at TV, you hear the beep and you have the crawler that goes across the bottom of the TV. And for people who are blind and low vision, we can't see those. And we're asking for the FCC to make sure that that also has an audio output so that we know what the emergency is. So we know if we need to go in our basement or in our bathroom for safety. When it comes to tornadoes in our area, it could be a hurricane in another area, but that is that particular legislative imperative. Also, we're asking for expansion of audio description, because right now it's only required to have 1 hour of audio description programming per day, and that needs to be increased. And then the last one, if I remember correctly, is the Medicare and Medicaid. I can't remember if that's a reauthorization. Michelle, you can jump in and help me out. But this essentially is, for one thing, it's asking for Congress to have Medicare, Medicaid take out there's an exclusion that was put in 2008 that Medicare does not pay for anything with a lens. And we're asking for that exclusion to go away, because things with a lens could be more than just eyeglasses. It can be eyeglasses. It can be a magnifying glass. It can be any other type of low vision aid that someone who who's on Medicare may need help getting it paid for, so that they can have those type of devices to help them in their daily living, whether it's reading their mail, cooking, whatever that is. Right now, there's an exclusion, and we want the exclusion to go away. And that's the other four. I think I covered them all.
Very good. Nice. It's not, that one is not a reauthorization. That's just to get it passed.
Get it passed. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Couldn't remember. A lot to
For the
remember.
900th time.
Yes.
All right. So
Can I
that's
just add one thing about the Federal Aviation Administration thing. It's my understanding that, and I learned that, this week, that if you're flying with a guide dog, you have to fill out paperwork for each flight you go on.
correct.
And
with each airline.
it's
as well.
yeah, and the forms are different for each airline. It's
Correct.
not standardized, not
Correct.
accessible. So just a huge pain.
Yeah, that's kind of what the R3 is. We're asking for that to be cleared up. That's why that's what we're asking in the reauthorization, for that to be simplified. It shouldn't
That's
be
all.
something different everywhere.
Mhm.
And even from my experience, there's only one airline I've flown on that I have a permanent profile, and that's Southwest, where they know I'm blind, I'm hearing impaired. I don't need to keep explaining that every time I go to fly. Other airlines don't have that. American doesn't have that. Delta doesn't have that. You always got to call and go through all this other stuff to fly.
I will also make a gentle point that there are some blind people that are in wheelchairs, and we don't want to exclude that.
Yeah.
We don't want to
Correct.
exclude that.
Correct. So who has a question?
I don't have a question. I'm going to share my experience with it. And I know from experience because I've done it several times.
Mhm.
So I'm a Southwest guy. And the way I've been getting around it is I've been filling it out. I make about 10 copies. And then what I do is when I get to the airport, I just have the airport people help me sign and date it. And I had an airport person basically tell me once, we just want to see that the dog's information is up to date. So I've never had to take my dog to the vet 48 hours before the flight. And I just flew in December. I flew in October. So I know what I'm talking about because I just did it twice. Just saying there is a way around it.
Yeah, and trust me, everybody has a different story, but we're just trying to get more uniformity. I think that's why. I think that's
I think the Clear program that's offered by the um, the administration can also help.
This is Gail Baldwin, and I have a question about people with comfort animals. Do they have to do all of this?
I can't speak to that. That's something I have to look up and get back with you on. I'm like I said, the Reauthorization Act is something new that we just heard about Monday.
See, I think that's where all the issues started from, is people bringing chickens and turkeys and
yeah.
No, you are absolutely correct. And I'll tell you one reason I can say that is that I was told that if my guide dog just exhibited any behavior that they considered unacceptable, she would be put underneath. And I know that's because of all these people that say they, and maybe some of them are accurate, but emotional support dogs, the behavior has not been consistent the way that the guide dogs have been trained. And so it's put more pressure on we people who bring guide dogs.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll have to have. I'll find out some more information because, like I said, this is new. I mean, they're literally talking about this in Congress because it literally expired, I think, at the end of 2023, and so this is new. So thank you all for the discussion.
May I briefly interject one thing?
Sure.
I was electronically at the DC conference presenting the hybrid meeting setup of our local chapter here. And the people in the group were entirely iPhone, iPad users who placed like their phones in the middle of the table and stuff like that. So my presentation was 10,000 light years and above what they needed to hear. So it wasn't really very helpful. There was a guy that came after me that actually knew something that was more useful. But anyhow, the chapter's 25 cents went in on that for what it's worth.
Well, still, your wisdom is valuable, Lee. So.
Troy.
For there we go. For the medical devices, is this also taking in consideration like those 24-hour heart monitors that you have to get and send back?
Yes, everything, class 2 and class 3. So that would include those. So now we'd like to move on to any old business that anybody has.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Tucker.
The last time we tabled the discussion of the chapter donations for the spring, which historically we've given about $4,000 away during year to organizations. Last year we gave to Voice Corps, Newsreel, the ACBO Ohio Matching Grant Program, and Pilot Dogs. And this year our budget does include $4,000 for such things. And there was some brief discussion has occurred on email and in person about finding a way to donate to the audio description setup that Kappa has in Jane Ehrenfeld. And so if we could have maybe a brief discussion about whether we would like to make donations at this time to some of these organizations and which ones seeing as we're pressed for some amount of time, it probably should be a fairly short discussion.
Madam President, this is Mary Highland.
Yes,
And I said last month that I would be glad to do some research on this. And I have. I spoke with Elizabeth Lamont at Kappa, Columbus Area Performing Arts, and she told me that audio description is actually in their budget. So it probably wouldn't be a good idea to donate to Kappa, but she put me in touch with another person at Kappa named Nate Riley, and we had a nice conversation about it. And the result of that conversation was that he suggested that I contact the director of the Short North Theater. And the reason being that it's a small theater and they probably would love to have some support. Now, I haven't been able to reach that person. They're very hard to get a hold of there. But if the chapter is interested in this, I will pursue conversation with that person to see how that might happen. If they would like to have, or if they could use a donation to support audio description, that is to make it available for every performance, as Kappa does. And this is something I didn't know. There, another something I didn't know. Kappa provided audio description for 21 performances this season. I didn't know that. And that's one thing that I would like for somebody, and I'm going to be talking with Nate some more about trying to get the word out that this exists, and also to recruit more describers, because right now they only have 3. And that can be very disappointing for somebody that wants to see something and all 3 people are out of town or whatever. So I think it needs, there needs to be some training, recruitment and training and marketing. So I would like to pursue that with the chapter's blessing, and I start with the Short North. And my idea is maybe to give $1,000 to the Short North Theater. And by the way, at Kappa, that would only provide audio description for 2 performances. So probably at the Short North, it might go a little farther. And then perhaps next year, make a donation to another theater that would be interested in providing audio description. And that way it might be, if they could put an announcement in their programs. And Nate Riley and I talked a little bit about that Kappa has a website where they list all their performances, and it does say which ones have audio description and on which dates. But not everybody looks at the website when they're thinking, oh, I'd like to go. I've heard about that show. I'd like to go see that. Certainly I don't do that. And I think I'm not alone in that. So that's where I am.
any thoughts around what Mary has shared?
I just have a brief comment. There's an app on your phone called Listen Everywhere. It does cover a lot of the theaters. I don't know about the plays, but it says Listen Everywhere, and I've used it once, and it does work. So I can do more research if you want on everywhere.
And what theater were you in, Julie? Do you remember?
He's probably got to get the
Theater.
microphone back.
Sorry?
Question. what was the nature of the audio description you received? Was it somebody broadcasting live, or was it from a soundtrack?
That I don't know, but it was good. And I had it in one ear so I could hear the movie better.
So you had it in one ear, and then the movie was in the other.
Just to clarify, I'm talking about live theater and like Broadway, even some musical performances, not movies.
That's just a device, though, Julie, not the descriptor, not the person doing audio description.
And then one thing to keep in mind, this is just a thought when it comes to audio description, the whole point of why we're pushing for is to get movie houses and even theaters, live theater. I agree with what Mary's saying, but for movie houses, we want them to, like everything else we push for them to build it in when they create the movie. But the app is good. If you want to do some additional research, that would be great. And I don't have an issue with what Mary is proposing as well, because live theater is just as important as going to the movie. And we should be able to enjoy that as well.
Yeah, I like the idea of supporting the Short North Theater if it's something they want to do and just haven't had the funds for. If we can give them those and enable them to provide that, then I think that's a very good idea.
And it's good awareness for other people, because I will tell you the Short Enough Soundstage, they've been getting a lot more traction. I see a lot more things from them compared to even a couple years ago. So
Okay, Madam President. So I'd like to. This is not really a motion, perhaps, but I'd like to propose that we reserve $1,000 for the exploration of supporting live audio description of plays to be explored by Mary Highland and Company. So that's not, but that I just want to set that $1,000 aside. That seem reasonable?
yes, it does. It seems very reasonable to set that to the side and allow Mary to do some more researching and have some more discussion.
Yep, on the way.
Yes, I went to a movie last night with subtitles, and if I hadn't had somebody with me, I would have never known what was going on. So that's another part of the audio description, maybe.
So that audio, the whole point of audio description is to describe what's going on, the visual parts of it. So it coincides with the dialogue that you're hearing, whether it's subtitles or not.
Well, I think the question was if the movies would be included in this. And from my perspective, the movies have that built into this. It's a separate track, but you need the special equipment. And when you go to the movie theater, you ask for the device, but you have to be sure that it's turned on to the descriptive video or audio description rather than the one for people with hearing loss. So
yeah, the assistive listening.
Assisted lift, yeah. So what I was proposing was audio description for live performances.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts?
I think what Mary was saying is that regardless of whether we're talking about a live performance or a described movie, if audio subtitles are required to understand the movie, let's say the movie's not in English, then I think the description will do everything it can to include those. I've seen that done with Parasite, which was the 2020
good movie.
and the describer did read the the dialogue, and I've also seen a project that was done for a movie called The Way He Looks that was in Portuguese. A number of people put together a description and also subtitling the character. So that's I think what may be a discussion is if they can, they will try to incorporate that.
Okay. Well, I like Lee's proposal. Can we get a vote on his proposal that we do that? Let allow Mary to do the research because I think it's a good idea.
Yes.
Lee, will this result in spending less than $4,000 on?
Actually, I don't think it's actually a proposal. What we're doing, I'm trying to do is set aside $1,000 from the regular donations for the audio description for live performance to see if that comes to fruition. That's why. So that would leave $3,000 on the table for other organizations.
Yes.
Okay.
I apologize. I'm not very clear when I talk many times.
Does anyone else have any concerns? I think this is a good idea. I feel like we need to dig into this and make sure we have some concrete information so that we can then kind of, it's a way of promoting ourselves and our organization and getting the word out about what we need as people that come to the theater.
So this is Sean. I move that we set aside $1,000 of our general allotted $4,000 for donations, so that description can be explored with the potential of it going to the Ohio Theater or the Short North Theater, but the more research can continue and just we're not necessarily deciding where that money is spent at this point, but we're just saying we want $1,000 of that allocation to be used to explore that. Lee, does that clearly state what you are intending?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
It does. Is there a second to Sean's motion?
Julie Russell seconds.
I will second the motion. This is Shirley.
We already have Julie that has seconded. Thank you,
I'm sorry.
Shirley.
So many.
Here.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, thank you. This has passed. Thank you so much, Mary, for the work in advance.
Okay, I'll keep you posted.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
At this time, do we wish to address Newsreel and the other organizations?
Yes, we can.
So I would like to propose that we donate $1,000 each to Voice Corps and Newsreel and for this fiscal year for the support of their operations.
I agree with that proposal.
So that's just 1,000 for Voice Corps and Newsreel.
$1,000 each.
Each. $1,000 each for 1,000 for Voice Corps and 1,000 for Newsreel.
That's
two organizations.
It is two organizations.
Yes.
What about the third one?
Maybe, well, the third one we did last year was ACBO Ohio Matching Grant Organization, or Pilot Dogs was also done. Perhaps we can choose now, or we can choose to do that at a later meeting, or but the proposal on the
think
table
about
is
the
to
third
do two.
organization. At least take care of these two today. Let's take care of these two today. So would someone please make a motion?
This is Mary. I move that $1,000 be donated to Voice Corps and $1,000 be donated to Newsreel.
Yeah, Mary,
Did somebody else already do that?
yes.
Oh, sorry. I didn't
Well,
hear it.
I think we should give it to Mary because the people in Zoom have not been given a fair chance to
Yay.
do
All right.
that. So I think Mary should have it.
Okay, that's
Well-
fine.
Let's give the second to the other Mary.
Yes, that's fine. So the Marys. So
I second the motion that we give $1,000 to Voice Corps and Newsreel magazine.
all in favor, please say hi. Hi. Aye.
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 Any nays? Okay, that motion has been passed. Thank you so much. So, new business. Yes, go ahead. This is new business. Yes, ma'am.
Whom are you speaking?
Hello, Denise, is that you?
I'm on Zoom, but I don't know if Janae is addressing someone in
Yes,
person or
I'm
not.
sorry. It's someone in the room, Denise. My apologies.
This is something I just wanted to get out in case anyone was interested. WAS has a fundraiser and I have product with me if anyone is interested. The large $5 movie boxes of peanut M&Ms, Raisinets, and Reese's Pieces instead of 5 like at the movies. They are selling them for 3. That's it.
WAS has a fundraiser. Just repeating what she said.
And now, Denise.
Denise, did you have something?
Two things. One is last meeting I proposed the first aid class and have 11 people listed on the roster at present. But I need to make a motion for the chapter to support the funding of the class, which would be $64 per person if we have 10 or more. And I'd like to make a couple of additional comments about that. One of which is that anyone who cancels needs to cancel by August or July 16th, or you're going to need to pay for your slot if we don't find a replacement.
Lee Tucker, I would second that motion. As treasurer.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any nays? Okay, that motion has been passed. Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome. The second thing is that I received from Mary Highland an article about someone using the AED to save someone's life at a football game, a person that was in the stands. And she had proposed that someone come and speak to us and perhaps demonstrate how to use the AED.
That I like that proposal because I don't think everybody, not everybody took the first CPR and then not everybody probably participated in the one at the convention. So it doesn't hurt to have someone come in again and explain. So yes, I agree with that proposal. Would you like to make a motion for that as well, Denise?
I move that we explore the possibility of an individual to come in and demonstrate the AED to the Columbus to our Columbus chapter.
Would anyone like to second that motion?
I'd like to second that.
Who is that seconded?
Chuck.
Chuck, okay. So Denise has proposed the motion. Chuck has seconded it. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any nays? That motion has been passed as well. I will inform you all, we do have a speaker that's coming at 2 from the Xavier, I want to say Xavier's Society for the Blind. They're coming to do a short presentation for us at 2. And the young lady's name is
are they
Ashley.
in person or on Zoom?
On Zoom. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
on Zoom. Yes, sir. So they're coming at 2. So, are there any other business we need to take care of before they arrive? Okay, we have a person in the room, if I'm hearing correctly.
Yes, we're gathering up people who are interested in getting the mainstream on demand to keep the same schedule as mainstream. They do it in other cities. And we're gonna we're gonna have people that maybe want to go talk to mainstream. Plus, we're gonna start a petition. And I'm gonna try to get the 3 blind groups, those that are willing to jump in. So if anybody wants to talk about mainstream on demand,
Can you please provide some more context when you say to keep the same schedule? But I don't understand what you mean.
okay, regular mainstream runs till 10 or 12 on the weekends. Mainstream on demand runs till 7:30.
Oh, yes, making it coincide with the regular bus service.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I agree with that one. Oh, yeah.
anybody that's interested, I'm willing to talk about it. I think we're going to end up with a petition going around with WAS, NFB, and ACB, I hope. And that's all I've got to say. I'm on the list, and if you can't get my number, people have it. Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
We also, since
Shirley also has a hand in Zoom.
also, but since we're talking about 3 groups, we should include the Vision Loss Support Group and Mike Pitroff. And then,
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think they'd be a good group.
Definitely.
Okay.
If there's no other.
Are we ready to hang on? Shirley has her hand raised in
Shirley has her
Zoom. Are
hand
we
raised?
ready to
Okay.
acknowledge her?
Okay. Shirley?
Yeah, just a real quick question, and I'm sure I got this, but I kind of missed it. What date is that first aid course going to be, and is it going to be at the same place we had the other one? If Denise can just.
It is August 17th, a Saturday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the same location as the CPR class was last year.
Okay, and are you still taking sign-ups?
You're signed up, and I can add more. You and Lynn are on the list, though, just to be sure you know.
Okay, thank
Is that
you
a
very
date
much.
different? Is that a date different from the meeting, or is it?
It is it certainly is.
Okay.
It's the 3rd Saturday.
Thank you.
Is there any other business?
Yeah, Sean?
Yes.
Yeah, just mentioned, throw it out to anybody else out there. Anybody else might have an old cassette player laying around there that's not in use, or a bunch of blank tapes like that person mentioned. Because a friend and I can, jump in the car sometime when she's got time to run around and just check these people out there. If they got anything there, we can bring up some tapes over to yours and see if yours might be working.
So let me clarify this, because this
Yeah.
is something Mark and I have been briefly discussing. He is interested in any of the NLS cassette players that people might have that they don't want anymore. The library is basically recycling them. They have no use for them. So if anyone I have one that I can't test at the moment. If anyone has any information, Mark's number is on the membership list, and I would also like to let people know that our speaker is here, I believe.
Yeah. Who's the other person that might have some other tapes you mentioned offhand? I can always use them for blanks later on.
Yeah, I've heard. Thank you, Mark.
I think Chuck does,
right.
and you guys can connect.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Your
guys.
number is, I don't know, you got a number right. The tape is 592-2974. My number, or get back to you later on.
I believe you would be on the membership number list.
Yeah, because this is a different number I'm using right now on a wall phone. It's different from, well, you can put that on there, but I don't know what they got on the membership list. My old cell phone number.
I'm not sure.
still got that. I guess.
But
That's
okay,
fine.
Okay,
is there anything else?
our speaker is here. So I would like to have someone put a motion to adjourn the meeting, please. So Erwin has moved to adjourn the meeting. Gail Baldwin has seconded that. Is all in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Okay, aye. Any nays? Okay, the meeting has been officially adjourned. I would like to welcome our speaker. Her name is Ashley. She's from the Xavier Society for the Blind. She's coming to share with us some of the services that they provide for our community. Ashley, are you there?
I am here. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity.
The floor is yours, my dear.
Thank you very much. Well, hello, everyone. Again, my name is Ashling Redican. I am the Communications and Fundraising Manager at Xavier Society for the Blind. We are located in New York City, and we provide free Braille, large print, and audiobooks of a spiritual and inspirational nature. Most of our materials are in the Catholic tradition, but we serve clients of all faiths, all ages, all free of charge. We were actually founded in 1900 by a Jesuit priest and a blind teacher of blind children named Margaret Coffey. And she wanted her students to have access to faith formation materials as they were preparing for their first communions and other sacraments. And 124 years later, we are still here, and we serve many people in Ohio, throughout the United States, worldwide. Our audiobooks are in talking book format. So they're compatible with the machines from the National Library Service for the blind and print disabled. And we have about 400 books right now, and we're adding books every single month. So that's a great, those are great offerings that we provide. In Braille, we have thousands of books ranging from theological dissertations to biographies of inspirational people, of saints. We have other uplifting and kind of good reads, positive books. If you're just kind of looking for meditations or, something to lift you up a little bit, some positive kind of themes. We also provide every month the propers of the Sunday Mass. So this is essentially the missalette. If you attend Mass on Sundays, it contains the readings, the prayers, and the responses to the Mass. And we have a lot of clients who use these selector. We serve a couple of priests who use them to celebrate the Mass. Other people just use them to follow along. So I might be talking a little fast or what have you. This is kind of just a highlight of some of the free offerings we provide. And you might have heard of us, you might not have, but I'm happy to answer any questions. There's no fee to sign up with us. You can give us a call. We have a couple phone numbers, which I can give. One is an 800 number. It's 800-637-9193. And our other number is a 212 area code. It's 212-473-7800. So you can call either of those numbers to speak to our client services coordinator, and he'd be happy to take your information over the phone, or he can send you an application. We try to make it as easy as possible to sign up and get our materials. And we're just trying to serve as many people as possible. So yeah, again, thank you for having me, and I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Here's Mary Carabinas.
Okay, and then we have a hand in Zoom that we'll take after.
Okay, two things actually. I understand I have a rosary group that I belong to, and the one of the ladies sends in copies of prayers, and then Xavier actually brailles it for us. So so that's a really great service. The other question, I have a friend who has written 3 books, and he has told me that I asked him if he could do audio books of his books. He tells me it's too expensive. So is there a way that Xavier Society can help him get these books on audio?
So he'd be looking for his own books, is that right?
He's written books, and he would like to know if I would like to know if he could get him audio on an audio tape. So because he says it's too expensive otherwise.
Yeah, we love taking requests from clients, and we have one transcriber, and he does a great job brailing materials for people. So I'm glad that your Rosary group, avails of those. That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. In terms of audio, we also welcome requests as well. The process is a little more, I guess, taxing in terms of time, simply because our audiobooks are recorded by volunteers. So we send our volunteers a little, what we call a studio in a bag. So it's a microphone and some other equipment where they can read at home, and they send us the file, and we have an audio engineer kind of process the file and make it, nice and smooth and, easy to listen to, and also make it compatible for the talking book machines. So if your friend is he a patron of ours? Do you know?
The answer is no.
No. Okay. So we have done books by some of our patrons. We've made them accessible for our other patrons to read. If this person in particular, if he's not a patron of ours, we probably wouldn't make his book available in audio. But if it's something, I'm not sure what the book's about, but if it's something that we think would be of benefit to our patrons or that they would enjoy and kind of.
No, they are spiritual books. This is a Catholic book, spiritual books.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, feel free to have him send us an email and we can discuss it with our audio manager. But I'd also highly recommend, is your friend blind or visually impaired?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. So feel free if you want to send us the information, we can look into seeing if that's something that we can make available in audio.
All right. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna put in
Okay,
the
Mark's
chat,
hand
if that's
is.
okay, our phone numbers, just because I said them really quickly.
Could you also in the chat put the like your email address and website as well?
Sure.
Okay. And what I will do is I'll just while I'm here, I will go ahead and just send those out.
Okay. We're also really active on social media. So if you have Facebook, Instagram, I know a lot of people don't use Twitter anymore, but we use it just to get the word out. So we're really active on those three platforms as well as YouTube. We often post clips of our audiobooks to YouTube just so people can have like a little idea of what our books are about. And can like listen to a little bit of it. So you can, feel free to like us or follow us, and you can keep up to date with, everything that's new in Braille and audio. Any other questions?
Okay, I am
in there. I had to do another task.
Sure.
And Mark's hand is raised in Zoom.
Back to Mary.
Hi, I forgot to say, I've heard you also on the Sunrise Morning Show, which is out of Sacred Heart Radio in Cincinnati.
Yes, yeah, our executive director has been on that a couple times. So I'm glad that.
That's how I found out about you. So just so you know.
And I'm sorry, what's your name? Mary
Carabinus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with the name. Awesome.
If I may ask,
I'm sorry, Is Mark, are you still have a question in Zoom? I'm sorry, I completely forgot. You'll need to do *9 to unmute, or *6, I'm sorry, to unmute. Okay, we'll take somebody in the room, and while they're doing that, Mark, if you can work on unmuting with *6, and we'll come back to you.
Anyhow, this is Lee Tucker from the room. I'm interested in the history of the institution, Xavier University. I understand it's a Jesuit-based institution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was founded when?
So we actually don't have any connection to Xavier University. Xavier Society for the Blind was founded in 1900. And the reason we're named that is because we were founded in a little room inside Xavier College in Manhattan, which is now Xavier High School. But yeah, so we were founded, as I said, by a Jesuit priest. And yeah, Xavier University would also be a Jesuit institution, I suppose. But we don't have any direct connection to them.
Well, I apologize. I thought you did have one because I think it's Xavier's in Cincinnati, isn't it? I mean, maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, never mind.
Sorry about that. But yeah, if you have any questions about our history, I'd be happy to answer those as best I can.
Is it Xavier Society? Am I correct on that?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question about the books and brailles that people get. Are they on a loan basis?
All of our braille is for our patrons to keep. If they don't have the room, they can always send materials back to us. But it is for them to keep. And everything's available in BRF. So if anyone has a braille display or electronic braille reader, we can email you the BRF files for you to read it on your braille display.
What about the audiobooks?
Loan basis?
Sorry, say that again?
Are the audiobooks loaned like the NLS books?
Yeah, they're on loan. So at some stage you'll have to return them. We don't have, exact due dates, but we'll give you a call if it's something we need back and, you still have it. But they're really, you could have it for 2 to 3 months if you want.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
And that's presumably because of the cartridge cost, correct? I would assume that's part of it because
that
those
is
are
part
a
of
little
it.
expensive.
Right. Yeah, that is part of it. I thought copyright had something to do with the other reason why they had to be returned, but you've stumped me there.
I have another question. Do you have an app?
Not yet. Hopefully in the near future, but as of right now, we don't. We do have a website, and you can download, various titles from that, but we don't have an app at the minute.
Well, if you need anybody to help test that, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Oh, great. Great. That's Mary, is it?
No, this is Julie Russell.
Oh, okay. Thanks,
I have
Julie.
no problem testing that for you if you ever need a tester. And I
Thank
don't
you.
charge.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean, it's something we're a small staff. There's only 5 of us at Xavier Society. So we have one director of technology and we all have, we all wear many hats, but he in particular is quite busy these days. So but that is something kind of that we're aiming towards in the future. So we'll definitely, be shouting that from the rooftops if it's something we end up doing.
I will make a comment and just say that there's a lot more to developing an iPhone app than many of us realize.
Mhm.
So it's quite an endeavor.
Mhm.
And I've seen at least one service that I have used for a number of years, and I was texting, it was on Twitter with him and saying, hey, there's a problem I'm having with the app. And he said, well, my iPhone app developer left me and I don't have one at the moment. So there's a lot more involved to putting an iPhone app together than you would think.
Yeah. Well, hopefully soon it's something we'll be able to embark on.
Any questions in Zoom? Okay, I do not see any hands in Zoom. Oh, Mark, your hand is raised. If you can do *6 to unmute yourself, then we can take your question. You've done *9 to raise your hand, but you need to do *6 to unmute. I don't believe I can unmute you. I can try. Let's see. Oops, wait. Now it's jumped around on me. Where is ask to unmute? Where is that? There. Okay, do we have any questions in the room we can?
Okay.
Oh, there you are, Mark. All right, go ahead.
Okay, just made some comments from the lady there from Xavier Society. You can hear me there?
Hi, Mark. Yep.
Okay, just comments on that. I've been using you folks for years and years. Xavier Society, I learned a lot from you guys. Back in the old CD tapes, I started out with Lutheran Blind Mission, your other brothers and sisters in Christ there in Missouri, and they moved to Florida for that, so all the books, CDs at the time like that, I had different CD players, so it took a little more work to put myself things back together again now. And that's what I mentioned to Sean about if anybody has an old fast cassette player, because it has a lever that you can play the tape slowly, because some of that material on yours, as well as the Lutherans, you kind of slow that down to understand it there at that point. Like a friend said from the Methodist Church, he says, well, we Methodists have been trying to achieve the high theology that the Lutherans and Catholics have, but we've never been able to achieve it there. And some of those books I've got from you, like, the Bible said what, and I bet you want to get to John the Cross, see what you Catholics have. I'll learn a lot from you folks, too, there. Like basic Christianity, but it's more advanced than the average stuff people get into. I learned a lot what's in the Bible and what's not in the Bible there from both you guys and the Lutherans there. They have a lot of good stuff, too. Over a couple of decades, I've been taking books out from you guys. But you guys, no longer CDs anymore. You're all on digital cartridge now.
So, hi, Mark. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. We before we transitioned to talking book format, our audio books were on MP3 disc, which is what Mark was referring to. And we have, over 800 titles in that format. And we still maintain that that format for anyone who has a DVD player, a computer, or a CD player that plays MP3 discs. So we still have CDs, Mark. So give us a call. We haven't served you in a few years, and we'd be happy to serve you again.
You recognize me by name there? Okay, because Lutherans like you, they got a small staff too, mostly volunteers. A few paid, but then when they moved to Florida, I don't know how things changed in Tallahassee. There, they got a better deal on rent down there, though. But I found out you guys, CD players are not all alike. There's a different kind. I had a different kind after you guys talking back and forth with me. It's like it breaks up in pieces, and it took a while to reconstitute it in pieces, what my player has, to make a copy from the CD to a cassette player there.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
No, I just learned like you guys, CD players are not all alike. I didn't realize different kinds until we were having problems and figured out. You told me basically, there's a certain kind of CD players that you guys have your stuff on.
Yeah, so since our discs are MP3 files. The CD player itself has to be able to play those files. So yeah, as you said, there's only a certain type that do that. But again, a DVD player or a computer will play the discs as well if you prefer that format as opposed to the talking books. And Mark brought up a great point as well. He was talking about how he was getting kind of the deeper theological books from us. So we do that kind of heavy, dense, I guess, for lack of a better word, material. We serve a lot of nuns, a lot of priests, deacons. So, if they're looking to kind of study or, kind of delve deeper into that side of the faith, we have those types of books. We have lighter reading as well. And we also, in recent years, we've been trying to, I guess, add books to our catalog that a wider percentage of the population would enjoy. So, we added 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom, which is a fictional title. We added a book recently called Have Dog Will Travel by Stephen Cosisto, and he's a blind poet. And it's just about him and how his guide dog opened up new roads of opportunity for him in terms of travel and things like that. So we're trying to kind of reach more people who would be interested in our stuff and we still stay true to our original mission of providing faith-based materials. We've also been adding, both in Braille and audio, works in Spanish. So we have talking books in Spanish. We have a couple of Braille titles as well. We also provide the Sunday readings in Spanish in BRF. So those can be downloaded if someone has a Braille display. But sorry for the tangent, Mark, just kind of reminded me.
I heard about you guys because you went to advertise on a radio station we had once, because I've had Lutherans for years at that point. It's like, okay, because a friend of mine, Barb, did a Divine Mercy Chaplet Liturgy. She came in twice a month there, and we always talk for hours afterwards. And she says, okay, I'll get you sign up for all that stuff, the topics there too, more just of the Lutherans there, because like you guys, sometimes they're pretty in-depth in the lever and the yoke cassette player. You can slow it down to try to comprehend some of this stuff. It's good basic stuff. It's really neat what you're really getting into some serious stuff. Like, you need some light stuff you talk about too, but other things are really good though.
Keep in mind, Mark, that if you take a talking book on cartridge and you slow it down, it slows down, but the pitch doesn't change. So you may find that the audio is actually easier to understand because the words will slow down like this, but the pitch won't change. So keep that in mind.
Okay, mine.
That
before the digital cartridges came out, we just had cassette players.
Yeah, but the digital cartridges.
CDs and.
Yeah, but the digital cartridge lets you slow down. Yeah, the digital cartridge will do that.
Most cassettes don't do that. That's why I like the old one. You can slow it down because, like, you can stop it, but you can stop. You just kind of slow it down and get some material to comprehend it a little bit, then go on at that point, though. That's why I've been taking out books and tape from. Otherwise, the National Library Service, too. I ended up in Lutheran Blind Mission and you guys, the Xavier Society, some other places, too, but you guys are the top 2, though, for stuff to really get into it, though. It's kind of fascinating.
Okay.
All the
Are there any other?
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, I want to allow for other questions.
For other
so.
people. Okay, good enough there.
Are there any other questions in Zoom or in the?
Any questions here from the room?
I guess I have a quick question, if I might. This is Chuck from Columbus, Ohio. Have you ever thought of sending out any books on just regular flash drives?
We've had people actually ask us to send them. They would send in a flash drive and we would add stuff to the flash drive for them and send it back to them.
Sure.
Yeah. So we have done that. We just haven't done it on a wider kind of scale. But if that's what you prefer, we'd be happy to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
just so that you know, Ashling, that the flash drives are also compatible with the talking book players. There's a port on the side, so
That's one of the reasons that I kind of brought it up, actually.
yeah. I just
Right.
wasn't
So
sure if you knew. I wasn't sure if you knew
Also,
that
if you're if you're technically inclined, you can put the MP3s in your the Victor stream.
yeah. So we've actually that's you know, for people who hear, oh, your audiobooks have to be sent back, you know, sometimes they get a little not annoyed, but like maybe disappointed. And so if they have a flash drive and they send it into us, we can put the audiobook on the flash drive and send it back. And but yeah, we kind of do that on the down low. No one, we don't really broadcast that. But yeah, if that's, I mean, if that's what suits you best, we'd be happy to serve you.
I didn't hear a thing.
Oh, I'm
Hey
sorry.
guys, it's Janae. I'm gonna make sure that we have Ashley's information. I will put it
I
out
just
so
put
that
it. I just put it on the members list
okay,
as we were
good.
talking. Since she had it in the chat, I just went ahead and
Okay, good.
threw it out.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Good, good. I
If I didn't do it now,
greatly
I wouldn't
appreciate
remember.
Ashley reaching out, you know, to us. This is great. This is great, good information. So I wanted to make sure so we don't, because we could probably spend all afternoon asking Ashley tons of questions.
Yeah, if anyone has any other questions that I haven't answered, feel free to shoot us an email. We're back in the office on Monday. You can give us a call. Happy to answer any questions that anyone might have that we're not covering here.
And we would definitely have Ashley back again to give another talk as things change too.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Could you very quickly verbally give out both your phone numbers and your email address as well? That way, it'll be useful on the recording later.
Yes.
Sure. So Xavier Society for the Blind's phone numbers. One is an 800 number. It's 800-637-9193. We also have a 212 area code number, which is 212-473-7800. You can email us. It's long, but it's easy. It's info@Xavier Society for the Blind.org. And Xavier is Xavier. So again, it's info@Xavier Society for the Blind.org. If you want to reach me directly, my email is Ashling, and I'll spell it because it's a strange Irish name. It's AISLING @Xavier Society for the Blind.org. But like I said, there's only 5 of us in the office. So if you email the info email, I'll get that as well. So again, if anyone, you know, I'd love to hear from anyone. If you have any more questions or feedback, you know, I'd love to be in touch.
Thank you so much again, Ashley.
I love your
here.
name.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks very much. No, I appreciate that. And again, really appreciate you guys inviting me on today and helping us get the word out about our 124-year-old mission. So appreciate that.
And of course, may you have a very happy day a week from tomorrow.
I'm going to be in Ireland, so I'm going to have a very happy day.
On that day, you know, there are only 2 kinds of people: those who are Irish and those who wish they were.
Yeah, that's what they say. But I've never been to Ireland during Paddy's Day, but I've been many times. My parents are Irish and my husband is Irish, but I've never been there actually on St. Patrick's Day. So I'm excited for that.
Enjoy.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. And I am going to close down the
Thank
Zoom
you,
meeting
Sean, once
online.
again. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Lee, you'll still have to do it Because for the whole group,
I sort of hope I have to. Yeah.
yeah, I
All
think
right.
you should be able to do that. Actually, I'll stick around and make sure that happens.
I'm going to end the meeting now.
All right.
Right. And then we will watch
Cool
that
at all.
recording record.
Yep.
Magic.